trespassers, how I deal with uninvited guests on properties that I've got. Today I just want to talk to you a little bit about securing my vacant properties and protecting against people that shouldn't be on the property, random strangers and things like that. So basically, the nature of vacant land is that no one's there, no buildings are there, no business, no residences, anything like that. So nobody's there on a full-time basis. And, really, this is not always a problem for me, but I'm currently having issues with one of my properties here. This is a mobile home site that we're developing. And it had a mobile home on there previously. Maybe you've seen that video. And a hurricane destroyed the mobile home. And there's just all kinds of debris and trash and stuff out there on the property, and there has been for a couple of years now. And so people have just been trespassing and using it for various different things. And then I come along and it's now my problem. I've inherited the issue with the property. So, people just begin to not respect the boundaries and to use it to throw trash. They can go on the property and take things. They can use the property for their own benefit. And, they could also say something like, they got hurt on the property and come back and blame it on you. So, this particular property, I've got people that want to hunt on that property. And it's a little piece of property, but there's quite a bit of wildlife because there's a big ranch, a big agricultural property behind it. And so they're wanting to use my property, which is kind of a gateway to that ranch, to hunt, and it's like, no, you can't do that. And I can see the trails back through there. And they're using it. It also sits between a highway and a residential neighborhood. So, they're using it as a shortcut. They're driving through there. They're walking through there. There's even a guy on a scooter that drives through there to go to the bar, to the restaurant, every day, a couple times a day. So it's one of those issues where it's got to be dealt with, so there's a couple ways, there's some tools and stuff that I can use and I am using to crack down, if you will, on the trespassing. And, but really altogether, the main issue with the trespassing is that it can cause your property to lose value, can cause you to spend money to fix issues and to clean up the property and things that you may not have been planning on doing, like, hey, if I get this property cleaned up and people think it's a dump site and they come dump some more stuff on there, well, there you go. Now I've got an added expense. And it just really opens you up to all kinds of issues you don't want, and you don't want random people, just common sense, you don't want random people walking around on your property, that you don't know what they're doing, So some of the tools and stuff to stop that unauthorized use is really the main thing is just to keep it clean, keep the grass cut, the trash down and out. And, I hauled 2 dumpsters out of this particular property and keep on mowing it. I've got it looking a lot better than it did when we first bought the property. But, tall grass, dead trees is basically just a billboard saying, hey, the owner doesn't care, so do what you want, But as soon as I started cleaning that property up, the whole neighborhood noticed, and I'm sure those people that are trespassing and using their property for their own benefit, I'm sure they noticed as well. So, then another issue is just the good old no trespassing signs. You could mount them on a tree or whatever, but it basically says that the owner doesn't want you here. You don't know what's going on all the time on your properties. And that's just kind of like a constant reminder to anybody 24/7 on duty that, look, the owner doesn't want you here. It's private property. Stay out, So then another good one kind of goes hand in hand with the no trespassing signs, but, barriers to entry. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but, you could use a rope, fences, which is a little bit more expensive. I've got a chain going across the driveway on this one, so, but basically it just gives a visual boundary, that says, hey, look, this is the property. And if you couple that with the signs, it basically shows physically that, hey, there's a barrier or a boundary around this property. And it says with the sign, keep out, so it sends a pretty clear visual message, to anybody that, has been using that property that, hey, it's not going to fly anymore. or, people that, were thinking about it, that, hey, look, this is private property. Okay, go on about your way. Another one is a game camera. Cameras, you could use any kind of camera, I guess, but a game camera has been pretty effective for me. It runs off of batteries. It's there 24/7, motion activated, picks up all kinds of activity, people, animals, progress on the project, shows you what's happening when you're not there. And, the nature of the activity. And, it's a deterrent to people that would see it, that they shouldn't be there and that, they're on camera and somebody's watching, so, all that coupled with, keeping in communication with the neighbors and just letting them know that you own the property and that you're there. You have the neighbors kind of keeping an eye on it for you. So it's a nice thing just to, communicate with folks around there. If they see somebody and they know you and they know that person's not you, well then, they kind of know, hey, something's going on that shouldn't be going on. So, you just want to keep people off the vacant property, and that's what I'm trying to do to really protect them and to protect myself. And, in general, I'm not an attorney. This isn't a legal video or anything like that, or an expert, but I'm just a guy on YouTube that thinks random people wandering around your property is not a good idea. It might be a good idea to keep the property looking clean, have a few signs, and saying that you don't want people wandering around your property.